All right, so I believe we left off with this first look new art online section. And I just want to touch on why I keep saying I initially liked the homepage and I initially liked this section. And that's because this is where I started to come across a lot of artwork that I would just never show my students. It seems inappropriate for a middle school, which is what I teach, or even a high school level. So, for example, we have a woman who is not actually nude, but they're insinuating that she's nude. By her pelvic area, she has this red dot, and I did watch this series of videos. As you scroll down, we have some nudity going on here. A man pushing another man's face towards his nude genitalia. We have other ones like this one. When you click on it, it has, I don't know if we can actually see it. If we go to view the work, there's a woman holding like a leash to a collar. This person's head is cut off. It's called Psycho Nymph. And then there's some other ones on here that just don't seem appropriate. This one, you can see what it is called right there. You can see what she's doing in the image. And so yeah, I was a little bit turned off at this point because I just didn't find very much that was relevant to what I would be teaching in my class. But I'll continue on, and I did end up finding some things that I thought were worthwhile. On the past section of exhibitions, there's additional information. This one was actually pretty good, We the People, and that would be school appropriate. But basically more of the same stuff where you click on it, you have information about artists and artwork, and then some of these have audio or video that you can also view. So the calendar section wasn't really pertinent. The Learn section, though, that had some information about what you would find if you actually went to the physical museum. So they have an artist in residency program. They have First Saturdays for families. Digital archive I'll click on in a moment. That was somewhat helpful. Accessibility Resource Center. The Resource Center is just about what they have physically there. And then even the school and teen programs, I thought there'd be a little bit more information in there, but there really wasn't. So the only thing in this section that was really helpful was the digital archive. And this basically has 40 years of all of the information about the exhibitions and public things that they've done at this museum since they've opened up. So you can search in a couple different ways. You can search chronologically, but you can also go to this archive search. And I thought the archive search was a little bit more helpful. So I'll click on that. And then you can search by different ways, I should say. The part that I thought was the most helpful was if you went to this print area, because when you click on that, it shows this area for curriculum guide, and then it also shows an area, if you scroll down, for, where was it? It says lesson plans somewhere. Here it is, lesson plans. However, when you actually click on those, it doesn't give you very much information. So it gives you a PDF of a partial lesson plan. So I thought I had finally found something that would be really worthwhile, but this is all that it actually shows you. And then it doesn't really give you very much information about what this lesson plan is. But I was starting to get somewhere here. And this is where I came across this new G-Class museum. I also found this information when I was looking under the About section through their history. They were talking about how the museum started a youth group high school program, and that eventually it changed its name to G-Class or Global Class. So I'm going to jump over to this. So this website is not actually linked to the newmuseum.org website. I came across this in a roundabout way. And this is where I was actually able to find more information that I thought would be helpful. So It talks about G-Class in action, what it's about, what it can be, what kind of resources it has for teens. Then it has lessons, and it starts off by going by exhibitions, and all of these exhibitions are much more, okay to show to your class, a little bit more, a little less risque. So there's this exhibition section, but then there's also lessons. So you click on lessons, and this is where the rest of that lesson plan that it wouldn't show me on the other website comes up. So I'm going to click on After Nature just to show you this. So all of these are high school grade level, but obviously it could also be a really good starting point in planning your own lesson. And a lot of these resources, I think, could still be used at younger levels just when being altered, or I guess if you altered them. So it shows an introduction, it shows the objectives, lots of vocabulary and different vocabulary than what you're going to find in a lot of places for art ed. Lesson strategies. It has some areas that talk about like discussion starting points, which I thought was really nice, because sometimes, especially with contemporary art, I struggle with what questions to ask the kids to really get them talking. So like even right here, define and discuss utopia and dystopia. What types of stories and popular cultural references have you read or encountered that are representative of the notion of utopia? So it really gets the conversation going, I think. And then at the top here, it'll show images that you would need for this lesson plan. And then off to the side, on the left-hand side, it talks about related lesson plans. So some of these lesson plans are like a 2 or 3 part series that you would go through. And then it also has the name of the theme. For teachers section, this is not very helpful. It's only talking about going to seminars at the museum. But then the artist section was also, I thought, really helpful. So instead of organizing it by the theme or the exhibition, now we're looking at the artist. And then if you click on these artists, like if you see one that is relevant to, what you want to go through with your students, it has multiple different works of art that artist has done. And then again, on the left-hand side here, it has related lessons and also additional resources. And so this will take you either back to the new museum, because remember, this is not part of that website, or it'll take you to like New York Times articles or other websites that can help you to teach this information to your classes. So this is where I really thought that I hit the jackpot. The new museum website, I don't even know that would be open to students at school. I feel like that would definitely be blocked. And so I guess I'm getting towards the end of my time here, and I just want to go over some final thoughts. So again, the newmuseum.org website was just too inappropriate, I thought, for K-12. I also thought that the website was really difficult to navigate. It took me quite a few times going through that website before I actually started to know where things were, because there's a lot of different areas to click. The videos that they include of artist conversations or interviews, they were really, really long, like over an hour long, most of them. And I don't feel like I'd ever be able to show those to my class, just because the students would get kind of bored with that. But this particular website, this G-Class Museum site, which is directly linked to the new museum, I thought this was fantastic, obviously primarily for high school, unless you're going to alter some of these lessons to make it more relevant to younger students. But I thought that this could be a really good starting point, even just in considering particular themes. Like, I know sometimes I have a hard time figuring out what theme I want to teach. And so also those questions that I thought they prompted you with, I thought those are really, really good. I could also see using this particular website maybe to play a game, like a scavenger hunt kind of a thing, and get the kids looking around a little bit more, looking at the artwork, trying to get them to do some of the reading. And I'm thinking primarily of middle school level, because I know if I just told them, go to this website and look around, they'd be done in like 5 minutes. So that is what I have found by looking through the new museum website, and then by looking at this kind of off of that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.